All right, Aries. So now this week you're pulling some difficult ones. Now, from Lay Vampire, you pulled Prey, stalked, invaded, and watched. But then from Chakra Wisdom, you're pulling Perfection. Now, immediately the feeling between the two for me is that there may be somebody who is, acting out in a bad way because you're seeking some perfection. But then on the other hand, you may be preying on yourself and wanting to be perfect in a way, and it may not be in a healthy way looking at prey, but we'll get into this. Oh, thank you, Jen. All right, so now the blessing with prey. You are able to make a stand, and you are strong, clever, and powerful. It is time to stand up to a bully or to one who wishes to blame you for their own bad behavior, which is where I feel like you may be dealing with somebody who's being shitty at the fact that you're setting higher standards. Now, it says you did not attract the circumstances you find yourself within. You have a great deal more power than they wish you to have. Now, working with this card, and this is where I kind of got the feeling of, you possibly preying on yourself, though, too, and giving up in your pursuit of perfection. Now, working with this card says, do not allow yourself to be prey for another's hunger. Do not refuse to help yourself or to fall into patterns of victimhood. Take good advice and demand what is yours by rights, and be strong in the face of the one who would devour you. You cannot always win, but the greatest battle you face at present is the one within you that says, I give up, nothing ever goes my way. It can and it will when you believe you are worth fighting for. So, Aries, prey bothers the shit out of me. But, what I'm looking at more so is the reason why that's happening is because of perfection. Now, the inspiration says, are you being too hard on yourself and consequently on others? Begin to look for what's right and good in your world and you will see it. The very first quote for this card says, I have the same high standards for myself as I have for others. Which again brings me back to the feeling of somebody who's being shitty because, you're wanting something better now. Now, the personal question says, where am I presently focusing? Knowing what's right and telling others about it may not be the best way of being. The key ideas are alienating others, feeling alienated, seeking perfection, deeply desiring love, and transformation ahead. So it just depends here with prey. All right, Aries, here we go. Here's the energy coming through, the Page of Pentacles. So when I look at the Page of Pentacles, I think, first of all, of somebody who's willing to put in a lot of effort to get to where they want to be. It is about learning new things, and it's also about starting something new, getting something started here. But again, with the page, it is communication. This may be communication that's coming through for you to start something new in terms of work, though, too. Or it's needing to get something off the ground, whether it's a relationship or, a new project that you're starting here. But it's wanting to start something here that's going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort. Ooh, shit. So in the past, the Tower. I'm okay with the fact that it's past energy. When I look at the Page of Pentacles with the Tower, though, what it's saying to me is that if you've been through that crash, so to speak, you're willing to put in the effort to, build something better, right? Because the Tower, it's, building on a better foundation. It's getting rid of the fake shit. And again, when you're going back to perfection, that's exactly what's happening here. For some of you, I almost feel like a Ten of Swords with it, kind of. But, again, with the Tower, it's clearing out the metaphorical loft, so to speak, too, though. But clearing out all the things that don't serve your purpose. But for some of you, it may be something that, when you're looking at shocking events with the Tower, it may have been something that was abrupt. Like, boom, everything's changing right now. You're going to have to start picking your shit up and start working towards something else. Oh, boy. So in the present, the Three of Cups. Now, you and Scorp had this here. The Three of Cups in present conditions. Now, normally this is the support group. And seeing that coming out of the Tower is not a bad thing. But we'll see. Because, unfortunately, a lot of times the reason why the Three of Cups shows up for me is because somebody's got the cackling hen syndrome. There may be too many people with too many opinions going on. But normally, again, the Three of Cups, it's a support system. These are the people who are wanting to celebrate your accomplishments with you. It may be the people that are helping you too, out of the energy of the Tower. But, you know, we'll see here on what's in your environment and what eventually comes out here. But, you know, either way, with the Page of Pentacles there, you know, it may be communication coming through, you know, a group of people around you that are presenting a new opportunity, though, for you too. But again, you needing to go through a lot of hard work to get things going in the direction that you want to see. Ugh. All right, so future conditions, the Five of Pentacles. For some of you, it may be a loss of a job in the beginning of a new one, and you may have support when you're going through this change. And that's just on the basic level looking at it. The Five of Pentacles, though, you know, I immediately had to take a deep breath because I feel like, you know, for some of you, you may be being cast out by people who normally would have been there for you, though, too, which is a possibility. You know, it feels difficult to me. It feels difficult. Now, you know, with the Page of Pentacles, though, that's good to see as far as the five being there. It's just that you may have difficulty on, you know, getting things going again in the direction that you wanted to, especially with the energy of the Towers of the past coming through. But that Three of Cups, it teeters for me. I have to see what's in your environment. Now, your best path to follow is the Three of Wands. I'm having such a hard time talking on this one. The Three of Wands is your best path to follow, is talking about, you know, you needing to, I want to say, be patient. I almost feel like a temperance type of energy with it too. The Three of Wands, though, is the best path to follow, is saying that, you know, you've taken the right action. Now it's a matter of waiting to see how things are going to develop here, which is good, especially with the Page of Pentacles. You know, but again, with the Three of Wands, I've always said that when you're looking out over this cliff, you should already know what to expect. You know, because coming out of the Two of Wands, you've taken the action that, you know, is going to lead you into what you're wanting to see. It's just a matter of when are you going to see it here with the Three of Wands. You know, I get the feeling that things are going to start moving in a better direction for you. But it's just, you know, the waiting game. It's a matter of waiting to see. But, you know, again, it suggests to me that as long as you're willing to put in the hard work here and the effort that's needed, you're going to actually see what you expect to see, you know. Oh, shit. In your environment, the Two of Cups. Now, you know, again, with the Two of Cups, normally when I see this card immediately, I think of a relationship because you're looking at the emotional bonding of two people. The only thing that these two people see are each other. You know, nothing else in the world exists here. It's about the reciprocation of emotions and ideas and thoughts, you know, sharing everything with one. You know, it's one of the reasons why soulmate is kind of attached to that card more so than the lovers. Now, looking at the Tower with the Two of Cups, for some of you, it may be, you know, a difficult shift in a relationship. You know, and with the Three of Cups, again, you know, looking at it with the Two of Cups, I don't know. I get the feeling for some of you, it's, you may have people around you that, and this could be a romantic relationship or this can be a good fit in terms of work, because I do see that with the Two of Cups sometimes. But, you know, the only reason why I'm saying that is because I see the Three of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. But for some of you, these people with the Three of Cups may be responsible for, you know, another relationship where you've already been through one that may have gone through like extreme difficulties. It's like you've either ended a relationship and there's people pushing you to start another one. And then there's this feeling of being cast out and set aside here with the Five of Pentacles. That, or you're just dealing with too many difficulties to even deal with it. But it's all going to go back to a relationship, looking at the Two of Cups. But there are people involved, you know, which worries me because I don't, oh man, I fucking hate it when, you know, readings come up where there's the whole, you know, third party situation. You know what I mean? I don't like to create conflict that's not there, but I'm looking at people being involved in a relationship, you know, and maybe they have too many things to say. Now, on the other hand, with the Five of Pentacles, it may be you kind of like pushing that out though too, but looking at that as far as energy that surrounds you in future conditions, I do worry a little bit. You know, if you've had difficulties in terms of either work or relationship, You know, you're going to have to put in a lot of effort here to get things going in the right direction. But, you know, more so for your own stability, though, too, with the Towers, the past coming through. Jesus Christ, Aries, what the hell is happening here? Okay. Your hopes and your fears, the Nine of Pentacles. I've always said with this card, to me, this is a single person. But it is about independence and self-reliance. If you're looking at things that are ending in terms of a good work relationship or just a relationship in general here, when you're looking at the Nine of Pentacles as hopes and fears, it's talking about, you know, you being able to maintain a comfortable environment for yourself. You don't need anybody else to help you with your own stable foundation. You know, it's you hoping to continue to have independence and have that stability. For some of you, it's fearing the lack thereof because possibly an ending of a job or a relationship. But again, the problem there is the fact that there are people that are surrounding this situation, you know, which worries me a little bit. And then the outcome, the Six of Cups, ooh, and I'm going to clarify that. When I look at the Six of Cups as the outcome, immediately I look at your past and I see the Tower, and I see that for some of you, you may have, you know, a difficult time in letting go of the past. Now, the Six of Cups as the outcome too, though, can suggest that, you know, there may be, and there's the Two of Cups, a relationship from the past coming through. But I'm looking at the Five of Pentacles connected to this. You know, for some of you, I almost wonder if some of you aren't rejecting a soulmate, though, too. You know, that or it's the other way around. But either way, you know, it's going to be directly connected to a group of people here. You know, but I'm still looking at you hoping to remain independent. And then more so being independent of a relationship, though, too. My goodness. All right. Now, first of all, when you're looking at the Six of Cups and you're looking at the past, you know, for some of you, it's you needing to have confidence in your ability to build something better for yourself instead of staying stuck in the past, though, too, looking at the Tower. But then when you look at the Seven of Wands next to that, it's you needing to speak up, you know, especially if you're dealing with people that have too many things to say. You know, if you make a decision here, and again, the twos, decisions, but specifically within relationships. With the Seven of Wands, you may be defending the choice that you make in terms of a relationship, but it's basically you needing to say, though, too, that you're not dealing with any more bullshit. And again, that's kind of where high standards start to come through. But when you're looking at the Six of Wands coming out of this, for a lot of you, you know, this is about victory, right? An accomplishment. The Six of Wands is referred to as the coming home card. And for some of you, if you have like literally lost a home because of the ending of a relationship, this for you is a sense of coming home, especially with the Nine of Pentacles. But then on the other hand, this is about recognition. And I feel like you're not getting it. And it's like you're voicing that. And I don't know, for some of you looking at the Six of Cups, the reason why the Magician is there is because there's a lack of confidence. Because of the Tower being the past. You know, on the other hand, most of you are probably feeling confident in the choices that you make, even though you have to defend what you're deciding to do here. But the Six of Wands ultimately coming out. With the Five of Pentacles, you know, again, it's rejection, not receiving, you know, the acclaim that you deserve, so to speak. But, you know, again, on the other hand, for some of you, it's simply going to be victory. Victory over, you know, the difficulties here, looking at the Five of Pentacles. But I'm still looking at a situation here where you're going to have to be patient to wait and see how things develop. When you're looking at the Six of Cups and the Two of Cups again, you know, this may be a situation from the past that even though things may not have worked out with the Tower, it's like you're going to do it again, despite what, you know, others may be saying about it, though, too, looking at the Three of Cups. And you may need to defend that choice. I don't know. I have to clarify this Five of Pentacles, because I'm like, well, why? If there's, you know, attention issues, then what's up with the Five of Pentacles? The Queen of Pentacles. The Chariot. Damn. Moving. And then the Page of Wands. Ooh, okay. Now, when you're looking at the Queen of Pentacles, first of all, this to me is when you're looking at the Nine of Pentacles and hopes and fears in terms of the outcome too, especially with the Five of Pentacles, this is again about confidence and going back to the Magician, especially for my female Aries. And then on the other hand, for some of you, you may be dealing with a person here and you're looking at Earth. This may be somebody who, again, going back to prey, may have a lack of confidence in themselves, that, or, they're like rejecting you here. Now, with the Chariot, though, moving fast into a situation, for some of you, you may feel like you're being pulled in two different directions, especially with the Five of Pentacles being there and this clarifying it. Now, on the other hand, it's you literally moving into something else, or, actual physical movement here or travel. But with it being connected to the Seven of Wands, it's you needing to defend that. Now, as far as the Page of Wands goes, though, and this is what makes me feel a little bit better, because it's connected to the Six of Wands. When you're talking about, receiving some good news here and getting, the recognition that you deserve with the Six of Wands, it actually looks really good. You're hearing what you want to hear, especially in terms of a relationship where there may have been like this feeling of being cast aside, but again, I'm still looking at a situation here where you may be dealing with people who are directly involved with a relationship. It's either people you're working with or people that are like involved in your relationship. Oh my goodness, Aries. Now, I am though kind of looking at, and I got these switched here, I'm looking at possibly with prey, somebody who may be like a little bit obsessed with you though too, and maybe that's not such a good thing, right? Like, I don't know, I just kind of feel like that for some of you, especially with perfection sitting there. It's not something that you want. It's not the attention that you're wanting, possibly. All right, we're going to take a look at the soul trees and see what other messages we can get for you guys. I'm just looking at this going, relationship in the Tower, people being involved, you hoping for, some independence here, waiting to see how things are going to develop. Oh, wow, Aries, that's not good. Stuck in resistance. Stop doing that. Don't do that shit. That's bad. Don't resist anything. What you resist persists. I hate it when that card shows up because I feel mom mode immediately kicking in. Stop that. That's naughty. Don't do that to yourself. Stuck. Some of you may be stuck with the past. But, there is a rebirth that is happening for you, but it can't happen if you're resisting it and you're stuck. And it may be because of other people being involved, though, too. Looking at that damn Three of Cups bothers the shit out of me. That's not good, Aries. Don't resist shit. You got to get unstuck from the situation. You can't stay stuck in the past, right? You have to be willing to go through the rebirth process. You're going to have to bust your ass here. Whether it's you needing to build a new relationship for yourself or build something better within an existing relationship, whether it's romantic or work, right? That's not good. It's not good. Oh my goodness. I do feel though, like even if you're dealing with a person here that's either rejecting you or you're rejecting them, either way, there is a need for you to stand up and say something with the Seven of Wands. You're going to have to defend yourself. But looking again at the Six of Wands and the Page of Wands connected to all of this, a lot of you may be receiving the recognition you deserve here. And it's good news. There's good news that you are following. Ultimately things come out okay. But, for some of you may be stuck in this damn tower and stuck with that situation. And I keep going back to that Three of Cups, and I feel like, people who may be meddling in the situation, and it may not be that they're bad people, it's just they have too many things to say about it when it's not helping. I mean, it's not helping, not with stuck in resistance being there. But again, looking at prey and perfection, I don't like it. I don't think that you're doing the wrong thing as far as perfection goes, right? And needing to have some higher standards. But, you have to be careful about preying on yourself, one, for not being perfect. But then on the other hand, you need to be careful of other people who are going to start acting shitty because you're expecting something better than what you had before. And I'm looking at the Tower directly. All right. Express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love to them. And oh boy, new love. Embrace this new opportunity of love that is here. This may pertain to work opportunities or spiritual growth. So again, for some of you going back to work, you know, it's going to be a situation here where you may hear the good news that you're wanting, where you may have had rejection before, you know, and again, with the Six of Wands, receiving the recognition you deserve. For some of you, literally a new love, and it may be a new love in terms of something from the past coming through. You know, and again, I'm looking back at the Tower and going, yeah, that's a little bit difficult. Now, express love through gifts. For those of you who are, you know, looking at a new love here, the best way to move forward, despite what you're dealing with here, is to express it through a gift. You know, some of you may be receiving a gift, though, too, from a new love. But you can't resist shit. Don't do that. That's bad, right? You got to get unstuck. You got to get unstuck. You got to stop resisting things. You need to let things happen the way that they need to. But then you also have to be willing to go through a rebirth. It's funny because all three of those cards to me are death. And that is death in the terms of, you know, somebody who's not willing to go through the changes. You know, whatever it is that's keeping you stuck, you need to stop resisting it, right? Like, nobody should be stuck in the energy of the Tower. You know, all the things that do not serve your purpose, especially within relationships, need to be gone and done with, so you can start putting in the effort here to build something better. You know, you can't get something going here if you're constantly, you know, in this feeling of being cast out and dealing with this energy, right? But wow, Aries. You know, I do feel a little bit hopeful as far as the outcomes go here, looking at future conditions and the outcome. But I'm still looking at the Three of Cups and the Two of Cups, and I have a little bit of worries there. Be careful about, you know, others being a third wheel, so to speak. You know, but again, here with the Three of Wands, right? You're going to start seeing things develop in a different way. You know, for some of you, it's just being stuck with the past and waiting to see how things are going to work out. But geez, Aries. Oh, for a lot of you, it's going to be, you know, a lot of different things going on with general readings. It's, you know, I tried to get specific storylines, but, you know, I'm looking at this and I feel possibly being stuck in a situation that you may not be happy with, whether it's work or a relationship. You know, there may be people involved that are causing problems. And with the Nine of Pentacles, again, it's you wanting independence, you know, independence.